Welcome to Social Elo Ministries, where we are committed to glorifying God while exposing the devil. When you have a godly assignment, you have to be careful who you partner with. Because if you partner with the wrong person, that individual may end up sabotaging you on your way to your godly destiny. Yes, some people can help you get to your destiny, and others will hurt you. Sometimes they hurt you maliciously, and other times it's because they simply fail to listen. They have their own ideas, and that's what they go with. In John 6, Jesus said, "Have not I chosen you 12? And one of you is a devil." He spake of Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon, for he it was that should betray him, being one of the 12. There was an insider threat, but Jesus knew who it was. And there are other times when Jesus would mention about Judas. But despite the warnings, Judas betrayed Jesus anyhow. And you have to be careful for those individuals who are hard-hearted, stiff-necked, and whatever kind of adjectives you want to use, but they simply refuse to listen, despite the cost. And sometimes when things go awry, and you ask individuals like, what were you thinking? It's like, truly, how did you think this was going to pan out? But there's a difference between a good idea and a God idea. When it's a God idea, the Lord will support you. When it's a good idea, you may be on your own. And sometimes it's a very bad idea that just seemed good at the time. For example, in Joshua 6, starting verse 16, "And it came to pass at the 7th time, when the priest blew with the trumpet, Joshua said unto the people, Shout, for the Lord hath given you the city, and the city shall be accursed." That was a warning. "And the city shall be accursed, even it, and all that are therein." Very clear, huh? The city's accursed and everything within. "Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. And ye in any wise keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves accursed." Sounds pretty clear, huh? "And when ye take off the accursed thing, and make the camp of Israel accursed, and trouble it." One of the things about the Lord, if the Lord warns you about something, it means it is going to pose a problem later on. And either you're going to listen to the Lord, or you're going to listen to the other voices, either from your soul or from the kingdom of darkness. For example, Genesis 4. The Lord told Cain that sin was crouching at his door, but he must rule over it. There are times when the Lord reveals things, and quite frankly, whether it's to me or someone else, in a sense it scares me because it means that thing is coming up. In 1 Kings 13, the Lord told the Judean who sent into Bethel not to eat or drink anything inside the town. And it was for a reason. Because a Bethelite prophet came up and told the Judean that the Lord, he invited him back to eat. And when the Judean said he couldn't because of what the Lord said, the Bethelite lied to him. And he ended up costing the Judean his life. So when the Lord warns you about something, it's because it's coming up. And you have to listen to the Lord based on the warning. So it's very clear. Do not touch anything inside, or do not basically take anything from inside of Jericho, because it was accursed. You take anything, bring it back inside the Israelite camp, It's going to make them cursed. But there are exceptions. But all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are consecrated unto the Lord. They shall come into the treasury of the Lord. So there are certain things that they could remove from the city, but it was to bring into the temple of the Lord. So it's clear. Basically, do not take any personal bounties. You can only take certain things, but it has to go into the house of the Lord. It doesn't get much clearer than that. But this is about that special one. The one that you always have to look out for. Because everyone else will do the right thing. But then, in Joshua 7, starting verse 1, but the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing. And Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took off the accursed thing, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against the children of Israel. The Lord told them not to do it, and Achan did it anyhow. Again, when the Lord gives you a warning, it's because He knows you are going to have to deal with it. That issue is coming up. But a lot of times people receive a warning from the Lord and they don't take Him seriously. But if the Lord takes His time to give you a warning, it is because you will face that issue at some point in time. And Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Bethaven, on the east side of Bethel, and spake unto them, saying, Go up and view the country. And the men went up and viewed Ai. And they returned to Joshua and said unto him, Let not all the people go up, but let 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ai, and make not all the people to labor thither, for they are but few. Remember that when the Israelites left Egypt, there were 600,000 men, not counting women and children. But this was after 40 years. And even though that generation died, we can make the assumption that the populace grew. So they said all it really needed was about 2,000 or 3,000 men, because it was small. And it continues. So there went up thither of the people about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ai. And the men of Ai smote of them about 36 men, for they chased them from before the gate even to Shebarim, and smote them in the going down, wherefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water. That was very distressing. The Israelite spies, after their reconnaissance, determined that 2,000 to 3,000 men would suffice. And it would have sufficed, except Achan. Except what Achan did. So 36 men died. But it continues. In Joshua 7, starting verse 19. After Joshua inquired of the Lord, and Achan was taken forward. And Joshua said unto Achan, My son, give, I pray thee, glory to the Lord God of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what thou hast done. Hide it not from me. And Achan answered Joshua and said, Indeed, I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel, and thus have I done. When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonianish garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold, lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, pride of life. Those are those three ways that the devil tries to tempt us. Those are the things he tried, well, those are things that he used to tempt Eve. Those are the things that he used to try to tempt Jesus, but none of them worked. But here it is, despite what Joshua had told the Israelites, Achan, he saw the spoils, goodly Babylonianish garment. It looked good, but as Joshua said, it was accursed. Then there was silver and gold. Then I coveted them and took them, and behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it. I pause for a second, because it also reminds me of Genesis 4, when the Lord asked Cain where Abel was. And then Cain basically mouthed it off, said, Am I my brother's keeper? And the Lord said he could hear Abel's blood crying out from the ground. And here it was, Achan put these accursed things in the ground in the Israelite camp, so he caused them to lose the battle of Ai. So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran unto the tent, and behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought them unto Joshua, and unto all the children of Israel, and laid them out before the Lord. And Joshua and all Israel with him took Achan, the son of Zerah, and the silver and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons and daughters, and his oxen, and his asses, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had, and they brought them unto the valley of Achor. And Joshua said, Why hast thou troubled us? The Lord shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones, and burned them with fire, after they had stoned them with stones. And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day. And the Lord turned from the fierceness of his anger. Wherefore the name of that place was called the Valley of Achor unto this day. Achan's actions cost his family and even his livestock their lives. All Achan had to do was follow the Lord's instructions. But he coveted the things the Lord had told him to leave alone. That Babylonian garment that he mentioned should have been burned in the city along with everything else. Just know who you're traveling with, so to speak. Know who's on your team. And know who's working with you versus those who's working against you. Sabotage. It reminds me of how Jacob had an agreement with Laban to marry his younger daughter Rachel. But he was like a saboteur who gave Jacob Leah instead. But the Lord turned that situation around. So again, just know who you're with and who is with you. Because there are people who may be saying, Lord, Lord. Yet they are working for the devil. You want people on your team who are going to be just as obedient to the Lord, if not more, than you are. But if you know someone on your team who is a liability more than an asset, you may want to put that person out. You may want to put that person out. If not, the person could be like a flame in a wooden boat. And it's either going to be the flame or the boat, but they cannot coexist. Learn to recognize if someone's on your team where if you coexisting is going to result in your demise.